There's another one there. This is the part where I'm supposed to tell you about ritual, but I feel like we've already experienced it, haven't we? Does anyone else already feel changed this morning from just getting to see what we've gotten to see? And thank you all so much. I knew this was going to be powerful, but I didn't know how powerful. And I am picturing you in hospital rooms and hospice rooms. And it feels like lullabies. And I think of the metaphor of lullabies as we usher lives in and as we usher them out, and how beautiful that is. I wanted to talk about ritual because as people of faith, rituals are often held in those places. And for many of us who have complicated relationship with some of the rituals of faith that we grew up with, it's important that we create new meaning, new ways, because we need ritual. We are creatures of ritual, whether we want to or not. We make ritual out of our everyday to remember to brush our teeth, for example. But we also make ritual at important moments of taking Jade's father's ashes back to their homeland, and of marking things like pets' deaths, or doing things in community and in weddings. Christina Baldwin says, ritual is the act of sanctifying action, even ordinary action, so that it has meaning. She says, I can light a candle because I need the light, or I can light the candle because the candle represents the light I need. So I want to talk about, I want this to be more of an interactive discussion about rituals. So there are some very common rituals in our culture. You just saw a wedding. What are some other ones that are common in our culture? And when I say our, I want to acknowledge that there are a wide range of cultures in our, that word, right? So yes. Coffee ritual, coffee hour. And so that we know tonight, to this afternoon, Rachel is our sexton, so the coffee hour / reception you're getting today is going to be extraordinary. What other? Yes?
Wedding anniversary. Ours was yesterday. It was our
68th wedding anniversary. And it is a ritual to mark that, and it is, did you see just how excited everyone just got? That we get to mark that with you is such a joy. Yeah. Commencements, a ritual, yeah, a conclusion of that. Yes.
Seventh inning stretch.
Seventh inning stretch is a ritual. Absolutely it is. Absolutely. Yeah, Brad. Birthdays, absolutely. And we sometimes make more rituals out of ones with 0s and 5s on them, because don't we want to make more meaning of some of them than others? So we find ways to mark even some of those in a different hierarchy. Yes? Child dedications, yes. Bridging ceremony, several that we do here at UUCP and other UU congregations. Yes? Retirement parties, big celebrations, a marking of a transition, right? Yes? First day of school. And I love, it just makes me so happy seeing all the kids going, I'm in first grade. My favorite thing is pizza. I read every single one of them and see them. Yes, Maeve? Praying, yes, is often part of rituals, or making something solemn as a part of it. So I want to just mention a few other ones. Memorial services are one of the biggest rituals that we have of marking someone's life, remembering them, and there are many different cultural meanings of how to do that. Personally, I'm in love of how we celebrate the person in UU congregations for memorial services. Quinceañeras, I love, and then kind of tying in the bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs of the Jewish holidays of marking somebody coming of age. And there's some religious ones too. So some of you might have, yes, Keith?
Funeral.
Yes, a funeral. Yes, absolutely. A very, very important one. In religious communities, sometimes there's first communions and confirmations, and those are rituals specific to a specific faith tradition. Yeah, Bonnie.
Silence or gratitude before a meal.
Yes, the ritual of praying, giving thanks, taking a moment, grounding yourself before a meal. Yes, Mira.
One I never liked, confession.
Confession. The Catholics do, you can say whatever you want. The Catholics know ritual, right? The Catholics know ritual. Yes, Christine. Feeding your kids. Yes, absolutely. There's all kinds of rituals. Bath time was my favorite ritual. And then I want you to think, you already are thinking expansively, but what else could we ritualize? What else feels worthy of ritualizing? So for example, I had a ritual after my divorce was final, way back when. I'm still married to Karen, don't worry. But I needed to ritualize that. I needed to mark that in my life. I have gotten the joy of doing house blessings, and we have done rituals for our own housing, our own houses. I've gotten the great honor to do name and gender change blessings. Very, very profound, marking a change from one identity to another. And the passing of a pet, I don't think that we recognize often how just truly difficult that can be in the lives of our families. So there's lots of rituals at holidays. Everyone all at once, shout out one ritual you have at any holiday. Okay.
Singing about the tree.
Excellent, wonderful, that was so good, that was so good. In my family, we sing the doxology before Christmas dinner. There might be only 16 of us at the table, but I swear we have 25 different keys. And we sing it like a dirge, because you've got to land on each note for all the harmonies, right? And the more horrific it is, the more of the ritual it feels like for our family. And we still, my grandmother's snickerdoodle cookies are a ritual for me, and it takes me right back to my childhood Christmas. So thinking about all of these things that you're talking about, what makes a ritual happen? What makes it a ritual? And I would say that there are certain markers. It usually needs to be something memorable, and it needs to be intentional. Now, we have the rituals like brushing our teeth in the morning. That's more like a habit or a pattern. I would say that a ritual is something that we're doing that makes something intentional, and it makes it memorable. They are often shared. They don't have to be, but they are often shared. Even us wishing you happy anniversary makes that a shared ritual. Christina Baldwin said, Casper Turkule, which Kuile, he wrote a book about rituals. He said that there are 4 levels of connection that we can get to with a ritual. Now we get to decide which levels we want to get to, and this is the community piece. We can do a ritual on our own. We can do a ritual of writing a journal entry of a release, or lighting a candle for something that we want to do only on our own. We can do a ritual with others, celebrating milestones with friends and family, the wedding, the memorial services. Certainly, when anyone dies, there is ritual in passing, but when we do it with others, it becomes different. We can do rituals with nature, which helps us to honor the cycles of the earth, or doing a ritual in nature, letting earth be a part of it. And then there's that piece that some of us might be uncomfortable with, which is the transcendence. Many religious rituals invite some kind of concept of the divine into the ritual. It's asking for a blessing. It's being in a moment and letting something that's larger than yourself be in that place with you in the ritual. Are you all thinking about rituals that you've had? Rituals that you've seen? There are, again, this is all the research on it. Tom F. Driver has also written about rituals. He has 3 social gifts that he says rituals provide. One is it provides order. A ritual is clear, it's intentional, and it's organized. We could have said, hey, everyone, let's get Rachel and Asher married up here. Who wants to just say some things, do anything, like, ready, go? No, you have an officiant because you want some order. You want some meaning to it. We can all settle in because somebody's holding that container. The other social gift is community. It creates opportunities to be together. Family weddings are few and exciting in our family, and they all have their own memories because we got to be in community. And then the final one is transformation. Transformation because we are changed after that ritual. So, finally, I want you to think, we've named some of the other, what are some of the UUCP's rituals? Some of the rituals that we have in this congregation. Laurel? Lighting the chalice every morning is a ritual. Every Sunday, lighting the chalice is a ritual. Yeah.
The dinosaur bird and...
Yeah, having Terry, the pteranodon. Oh, is it a pterodactyl? How did it turn into a pteranodon? Pterodactyl. Okay, its name is Terry. That's all I know. So yes, having Terry as part of our Christmas pageant. Yes, Luann. The labyrinth. Yes, having our labyrinth at the beginning of the year has become a ritual thanks to my wife's amazing painter's tape creations. Yes. Yes, the flower communion, and I heard water communion. They are our own version of rituals at the beginning and ending of our program year. Yes, Christine. What's that? I didn't hear that. Yes. We often find time in our service, in our year, to remember those who have died. Yes. Yes, the New Year's Day hike and potluck has become a ritual for us. Very well attended and quite a lot of excitement in it. Yes, Bonnie and then Victoria.
We've done some where we bring bread and everybody is breaking bread together.
Yes, we have done ones where we've brought bread and everyone's breaking bread together. Yeah, and Victoria. The speaking and honoring of joys and sorrows every week, yeah, and creating a container for that, for people to hold them. So, yes, Karen.
My favorite, singing Silent Night by...
Oh, I mean, singing Silent Night by candlelight on Christmas Eve brings me to tears every year. Absolutely beautiful. We get in a circle, surround the entire sanctuary, turn off the lights, and it's the most beautiful silent night that has ever existed. So part of my job as your minister is to help create meaningful rituals for UUCP. I do them in rites of passage and weddings and funerals and other things, but also trying to create that, the stones this morning. How can we have a service about ritual and not have a ritual for everyone in that? But I want you to think about your life. I want you to reflect on the rituals that you've had in your life. What has given them meaning? How have you been transformed by them? How can you bring more ritual into your life if that is something that you wish? And how can you do it with intention and community and transformation? So I welcome you all to think about how are you changed by watching this amazing wedding and ritual today. How are you transformed in being part of that in a time of community? And what else can you do in your life to bring ritual that has meaning to you, and have it flourish in your life? So might it be. And we have one more final song from our